All right, on the bench today out of a 2012 Ford F-150 pickup with a 6.2, it's actually a Ford Raptor. We have the 6R80 trans on the bench, 4x4. So what's going on with this is the gentleman lives in Connecticut. He drove from Connecticut to bring the transmission here. Has 200,000 miles on. The transmission actually is working okay, but he pulled the engine and he's having the engine work for a little more horsepower. So he wants to make sure the transmission would be able to handle the horsepower. So he brought me some parts. He brought me a billet intermediate shaft, which goes onto the E-clutch or the overdrive clutch. He bought me a special kit of clutches, steels, and snap rings. All right, because now with the more horsepower, for instance, we're gonna look at the forward clutch, which is the A clutch on this when we take it apart. Okay, everything is probably gonna be in really, really good shape. He was changing the oil religiously using AMSOIL. All right, so transmission again was in fine working order, but we want to beef it up to handle the more horsepower, probably about 700 horsepower. And the forward clutch would have probably about maybe 5 frictions, I'm going to say. So with this special kit that we're going to put in it that he supplied me, the forward clutch is now going to have 7 frictions. I think most of the clutch packs will have 7, but the E-clutch probably have about 8 or 9. And then we have the billet intermediate shaft, which I'm going to show you. I have a brand new valve body from Ford, filter from Ford, a new E-drum from Ford, and also he supplied me with a brand new case. Nothing's wrong with this case, but he thought it was a pretty decent value to buy a new case, so a new case was purchased. Also a specially made converter as well for the higher horsepower. So we're going to tear this down again. Probably not going to find too much wrong, but we got to rebuild this to beef it up, and so it can handle the horsepower. I have the overhaul kit. I have the door bond bushing kit as well. All right, so let's get a little closer. We're going to open this, take a look at it, do a quick tear down, and then I can show you some of the stuff that we have to rebuild this transmission. I'm also waiting on, when we tear this down, it's going to have the mechanical diode. All right, those are on back order for a long, long time. So I called one of the local Ford dealers, gave him the part number, and he said the National Warehouse, I'm not sure where that's located, shows they have 5 of them. So I says, well, get me one. He said it'll probably take me about a week. I said, no problem. You know, I'm going to do what I can do. I'll do the drums, do all the bushing kit, put the clutches in, get all that ready, put it aside until the diode gets here. I also want to tear this down to see with 200,000 miles on it, maybe how the planetary looks, because those splines are known to strip out, though never really seen them strip out on the F-150s, but I've seen them strip out on more than one occasion on the Transits. So usually when you get something like that, it'll run away in 4th gear, because the intermediate shaft or the E-clutch hub shaft goes into the planet. But want to check the splines. If they're any worn, it's questionable, it's going to be changed. So I guess that's about it. Let me get a little closer, and we're just going to tear this down. Again, probably not going to find much wrong with it. The oil in here is cherry red because, again, religiously changed it with AMSOIL. So let me get a little closer and we'll tear this down. All right, so let's get this torque converter out. Okay, torque converter looks like it pretty much drained into the trans. So here is your converter, and again, he has a replacement converter specially made for the higher horsepower. Okay, so we're going to get these bolts out here before we spin this thing around. so now let's get the dipstick out. Okay, you know how clean the oil is? Like new. Okay, so now we're going to turn this, get the pan down, get the filter out. Okay. 8mm. Very clean. Let me just get rid of some of the oil. Give me 2 minutes, I'll be right back. Okay. All right, so here's the pan again. The pan is clean. Filter. Okay. All right, so now you got to lift up on a little white tab. Okay, here. And we'll get the connecting sleeve out. Okay, we'll change the seals on that. All right, now I want to get a little more closer on top, and I'll get the bolts out. I just want to switch angles so you can see that. All right, so we're going to get all the torque 30s out. So the larger head bolts, which are going to come out of the torque 30, and the smaller ones actually are 27. Okay, I'm going to lift the valve body out. Okay, we got some tubes stuck to the valve body. These are going to be changed anyway. Okay. Well, we got one that would go here. And we have one that would go here. Okay. So those, we'll take those 3 tubes out, but that's where they go. Okay, can you guys see okay? Okay. All right, so let's get these tubes out again. And the last one. All right, bridge seal, I'm doing the overhaul kit. And here is your thermal element, goes in spring first. Put that aside. All right, so now we have the bias spring here for the mechanical diode. We got to get that out. That's to keep it from ratcheting and making noise. We'll Let's see if we can get this out. Bit of a small spring, but it's very heavy. Okay, there it is. All right, now let me reposition because we're ready to get the pump and the internals out. Okay, so let's move this. So this valve body is going to go back as a core. Let me turn this around. All right, let me just reposition. I will be right back. All right, so let's get this pump out. Should come out probably fairly easy. Even though it's 200,000 miles, it's in real nice shape. Okay, that's it. Okay, here's the pump. Okay, do have the Babbitt style bushing, which will be changed to brass. Okay, I'm going to pull the front section out. Okay, we'll open that, look at it. Okay, the B drum. All right, now we have to get the snap ring out. All right, what I'm going to try to do is pry up on this snap ring here a little bit so I can get underneath it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, let's try again. Okay. Let's just work it around. Pretty, thick snap ring. There it is. Okay, now let's get that C drum out. Sometimes these come right out, but there could be a little lip in there from the snap. Sorry for blocking the view there. Gotta have this straight. There we go. Alright, so we got the tabs here that keep this spinning. One here, one goes here, but the other one must have fell off. Alright, so we got both of those here. Alright, now the diode, which is the piece that I'm going to be waiting for. That's what this looks like. This thing's got about 200,000 miles on it, so I'd rather change it with a higher horsepower. I'll wait a little bit for it. Alright, so we got the two sun gears and bearings that came out of the plant. No problem. Put those back. Two, three, four. So this has 5, so this will probably wind up taking like 7 when I'm putting this trans back together. And the pressure plate. Okay. All right, so put this aside. Okay. And here's the last piece, the output shaft. Okay. Pretty much is stripped. I'll get the linkage installed tomorrow. I'm just going to pop the seal out. So here's the back of the case. There's a bearing in here, and a snap ring, which they gave me. Because to get this out, not easy to do. Okay. All right, so let me get rid of the case, get rid of the oil, and then we'll open up the pump and drums and take a look at everything. So I will be right back. All right, so we'll start taking the front of the trans apart. There is the rear seal. So now let's take a look at the A and the E clutch. Okay, we're going to take this bearing off. This bearing goes actually here, like that. Okay, I'm going to take the hub. Another clutch hub. We have a bearing here. Okay, so this bushing and this bushing are going to be changed. And here is the E clutch hub, so we got to get the snap ring out and put it on the billet shaft that they sent us. Okay, now the snap ring looks like the E clutch is a little worn. Let's check it out. The clutches do flake off. Yeah, this one actually, wow. You can actually see, you can see the metal. There's nothing left. Very smooth. Nothing left on this. Here's some metal right here. This clutch is totally worn out. So this thing eventually would have started slipping in fourth once there was too much clearance. This one's smooth. This one's all flaked off here. Yeah, these are no good. And this one as well. But this one is the worst. There is totally nothing left on it. So that is, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I believe 8 or 9 are going to go back in this. Okay, you know, also the drum, going to be putting a brand new drum in, which I have. All right, so let's take a look at the A clutch. Okay. Okay, another bearing. That goes here, like that. All right, the A clutch. You know, 200,000 miles, things are in very good shape. All right, let's see if we can get that planet out. Grab my light, sorry. Here's the planet, sun gear, and here is the clip that you gotta push out of the way to get the planet out. I'll just put this back in. Okay. There you go. Alright, so here's the A clutch. This will get about 7. We got a bushing here that's going to be changed, and a bushing here that's going to be changed. Okay, let's check out the B clutch. Okay, we'll take this bushing, a bearing, I'm sorry. Put this aside. Okay, very nice. closer now. Okay, here we go. Okay, starting to flake off a little spot here. It's starting to come apart. You know, overall, for the amount of mileage, not bad. That is C. All right, now we got our pump. And then I can show you some of the stuff we have to rebuild this. All right, so the pump is going to be a 30, torque 30. I also have a shim. How to remove the shim. Okay, so I'm going to take these out except for two. And back there. Okay, let's take a look. Can't get any better than that. That is absolutely perfect. Where these pump gears ride. Perfect. Okay. Let's take a look at the gears. Very nice. Okay. Real nice. The pocket in here. Perfect. Not really even worn out or anything. So very, very nice. Okay, so we have this planet, and in case these fall out on you, because they can come out fairly easy, there's a bearing. Okay, there's a bearing, open face bearing, and that's gonna, this part will face up when you put that in. Okay, and now this gear is flat and it has a chamfer. Chamfer's gonna face up. There's another open face bearing, and then here is the race, and this gear will go in, and you also have a shim. Okay, here's the bearing, the whole bearing with the shim. So we can put that in, and put that in. Let me just see what we got here. And it's really not bad, I'm telling you. I'm going to check it with the other one a little closer when I'm rebuilding the unit, but overall, not bad. Okay, now here is the output. You have a bearing that goes in here like that. All right, so let me move this stuff aside and I'll put the I have pretty much everything I need, except for that mechanical diode, which I might have to wait about a week for, but again, I'm a little nervous about reusing this one with the higher horsepower. I'd rather go brand new, and I was told they are available, so. But, you know, this one's okay, but I'd rather not use it with 200,000 miles on it. But overall, this transmission's in real nice shape. Eventually, I think he would have had an issue going into fourth with the way those E-clutches are flaking. And that's, you know, pretty common, but for the amount of mileage on this thing, it's, things in actually pretty nice shape. So let me just clear some of the stuff out, and I will be back shortly to show you what we have so far. All right, so here is my overhaul kit, which is Trans-Tech, my kit of choice. That is Freudenberg and okay. All right, here is my filter. Original Motorcraft filter, got delivered today. All right, so here's the door bond bushing kit. Now, this bushing kit is for the 6R80, for the 6HP26. But one thing I did want to mention, all right, here's the bushing kit, and then it gives you some instructions in here. Okay, so the rear stator bushing, which is a common wear problem, all right, which would give you issues in 4th, 5th, and 6th. There's 3 different ones in the door bond kit. Now this kit, you know, over $100. If you're just looking to change to one bushing, you know, you don't want to buy the kit. You just got to be careful of the height. But the stator, they give you a 6R60, 6R75, a ZF6HP 26/6R80, and a ZF6HP26. So even if you are using the door bond kit, just be careful of the height of the bushing. You know, you may want to just kind of visually look at it and visually look at the one that looks like it's the same size, because one is taller, and if you knock that down too far and the journal collapses in, you'll never get the overdrive drum in. So just be careful on that. And even if you want to just try to get a single bushing, you know, I'm sure the 6HP26 bushings will work. You could probably, those Sonics sells them, but I believe in bags of 5. But again, just watch the height. Okay, here is my new overdrive drum, or they would call it a cylinder. Okay, so this is brand new, and believe it or not, there is a core charge. So they want the old drum back. Okay, brand new Ford. So I got to give them the old one drum back. I'll clean it up, you know, once I take the pistons and stuff out. I'll clean it up, put it back in the original box, and they want it back as a core, as they want the valve body back as well. Okay, let's put this here. All right, so here is the kit that the owner of the car supplied to me. Okay, here is the rear bearing and snap ring and updated rear seal for this transmission. Here's the rear bearing. So I'll get a bushing driver exactly the same size, knock it in even, put the snap ring in. Where's the snap ring? Okay, here is the snap ring, and an updated seal. Metal clad seal versus the other one, which is basically rubber all around. But either one will be fine, but this came in the kit, so I'm going to use this one. Okay, we have a new lever for the trans. Okay, here is the billet. Here is the billet shaft. So we got to take that snap ring out and put it in this one. This is definitely key for the higher horsepower, because I did one of these F-150s and wasn't even a 6.2, and the thing busted right there. So these do break, you know, pretty common that they break. So, you know if they come out with something billet like that, you know it could be a problem for the higher horsepower. So it looks like you got this stuff from Circle D Transmissions. Okay, so there's that. Now, here's instructions for the clutch packs. And it is Exity friction module. Okay, so there are the performance frictions. Let me back up a little bit. With snap rings for the A, B, and C drum. They're all 92 thousandths thick. They're all the same. Okay. And here is the steel module for that. All right, so we just follow the instructions and put the steels in how they want. Okay. All right, so let me just put you guys on hold. I got the valve body. It's still in a box, but I do have it. Okay, let me get a couple more items here. Give me one second. Okay, so we got a brand new case from Ford we're going to be using. Okay. Here is my valve body, which I really don't want to open yet because I'm not going to have the part I need probably for at least a week. But here it is. You know, let me just, I'll just take it out and put it back in. Because I want to put this up in the front, because I really don't have any room to keep it back here. I really don't want everything laying around. Get it out. Okay. That's what it'll look like. That I can get rid of. Okay, there is the valve body. Comes with the leaf frame. I don't want to take it out of here, but this is it here. Brand new from Ford. I want to just really leave this thing in the box. Okay. I don't really need it in that. I'm just going to put it back in the box so I can put it up in the front and leave it up in the front. Okay, this I can get rid of. And the last, here is a converter that he had specially made for his application. I'm not even really going to take this out of the box. I just have him bring it because once I do the pump, I want to make sure the pump turns. Okay. So there is the torque converter. All right, so I have everything but that mechanical diode. Okay. All right, put this back in there. Papers for the valve body. And that's it. All right, give me another shot of this trans here real quick. So we got 2012 Ford F-150 with a 6.2. It's a Ford Raptor. And I'm gonna be overhauling it for him to handle a little more horsepower. So it will take a special converter. I got a brand new valve body from Ford, a special clutch kit where, for instance, instead of 5 frictions, it's going to be 7 frictions here. We got a new case. I believe he has a new transfer case. And I'm going to be evaluating the planetary. If they look a little worn, I'm going to try it with the new intermediate shaft that I have, but I want to clean up the planet, get it all nice and clean, and check it out. And if there is a little movement, I'll probably wind up getting another one. If it's good, not a problem. And that's it. Overall, transmission is in good shape. Normal wear and tear that we've seen on the clutch packs. Other than that, it's real nice. So I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next one.